So we are live from Crusaders headquarters. I am King Nico, and if you're watching this, you are the resistance. So we've got quite a couple of things to quickly go over. So we're going to try and go back on my Facebook page to say April 1st, which was what I've been teaching for a while now, is New Year's Day. The actual New Year's is April 1st, according to the original calendar. And with that calendar, we're also able to find out the date of the Great Flood. So as you can see here, I posted this a year ago. I posted it again on April 1st. So April 1st is the first month, so which means it's New Year's Day, not April Fool's Day, which would mean May is the second month. So when you go to Genesis 7:11 and it tells you the date of the Great Flood, which was in the second month and the 17th day of the month, we get May 17th. Excuse me. So May 17th is the official date that God flooded the world. And when you put Wednesday, May 17th into the gematria calculator, it equals the year 1656. So April 1st, they tell you it's April Fool's Day, but they also chose that day to launch Artemis 2, NASA's mission to return to the moon. And also on that date, Kanye West decided to go into concert. So yep, solar system luring people away from God since 1958. We're going to get more into that with the science, because the science is not sciencing. And I got to talk and speak with a PhD of the science, and it didn't go as expected. For him, he thought he would have one over on me, but I don't fall for the BS. So Artemis has just released new images of our supposed blue marble Earth. Just another CGI image that they've released to us. Oh, check this out.
Still not shattered. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get into this video.
I know.
So the highest and hardest glass ceiling. She's speaking of the firmament. They want to shatter it. As you can see, Disney NASA equals 666. National Aeronautics and Space Administration equals 666. Fallen Angels, Witchcraft, and the Galactic Federation, all in line with the number of the beast, 666. There's Walt Disney with his buddy and partner in crime, rocket Nazi scientist Werner von Braun. Disney and NASA tightly connected since the beginning. There's a video I've made. Nope, we say no to the blue marble. Get out of here. Smack that away. And look what we get. So I've been sharing this video for years, over 5-6 years now. So look, we have let me pause it. There's the model, the biblical Earth model that I teach and push and share, and have been for 10 years now. So we have a flat disc-shaped Earth. The oceans are kept in with the ice ring that goes all the way around the Earth, which is Antarctica. So anywhere you go south, you're going to reach the ice wall. And anywhere going north, you're going to reach the North Pole and be directly under Polaris, which sits in the firmament, the dome, right here in the center. The dome rotates, which is why the constellations move, but Polaris is fixed in its position. So look at the image we got here. Look at the date. This has been shared since 2021 and before. So this is a 5-year-old post. And I was been mocked and laughed at for sharing this. So we keep moving forward. Here's another image I've made and been sharing 5-6 years now. The firmament. There's Tower of Babel. There's NASA. So they can't go to space. Or if they're breaking through the firmament, the highest and hardest glass ceiling, where are they going? Where is all this space footage coming from if it's not from outside of our Earth? Right? We got the AI versus AI debate. One representing flat Earth, one representing the globe, and the AI representing flat Earth 1. Go check it out. It's all on my channel. So here it is. So this took place on April 1st. So at the exact same time that NASA is launching Artemis. So remember, Artemis in Greek mythology is the daughter of Zeus, is the twin sister of Apollo. So remember the first mission that landed on the moon, Apollo 11. Now we have his twin sister, Artemis, right? It's very all connected. So on the same time, the Artemis was being launched and supposedly orbiting Earth and getting ready to slingshot around the moon, right? We've got Kanye West, who I didn't even know was performing and on tour again. This video pops up and look at his stage. Look at his stage inside his concert. It's a rotating dome covering a flat Earth with an ice wall. You can see the ice wall surrounding it. It's white. Yes, he's on a firmament, but on the firmament you can see the land. So it's like depicting a globe, but it's showing the flat Earth and the dome firmament. So people will see one thing, but others will know another thing. Yes, Love Butterfly. What the, how freaky is that? So now this matches the images I've been posting for the last 10 years and other flat earthers as well, with a flat circular disc-shaped Earth with all the continents on the Earth and then the dome firmament with all the stars on it. But this is more truth in your face. There's Kanye West standing on top of the world. So he's where God would be on his throne, right? Unbelievable. This is a flat Earth. So again, all tied in with the ritual for the New Year's Day ritual on April 1st, because they think you're fools. So while they're sending people through the firmament to space, supposedly with Artemis, they're showing you what really is happening in the world, what we really live on at the same time. So while people are entertaining themselves with NASA live feed and tracking Artemis in space, they're also sitting at a Kanye West concert looking at our flat Earth, biblical flat Earth with the firmament and an ice wall right in front of them and not understanding and seeing the truth in plain sight. I just released an amazing interview. It's live everywhere now. If you want to know a bit more about me and what I've been up to since 2020, how I founded the freedom movement here in Canada, how I launched my Crusaders of the Resistance, everything, my music, my clothing line, it's all here. Come and find this interview. It's on my channel. It's on Facebook, everywhere. So people aren't buying it. People are not buying the circus no more. Again, Kanye West concert. Remember the film Begonia with Emma Stone or whatever this Baphomet actress's name is? So this image was going around a couple of months ago. A movie called Begonia. There's Emma Stone, an actress, been in plenty of Hollywood movies. And again, there is the flat Earth model. Look at her. She's holding a pick ready to shatter the firmament. You can see it. It's got the ice wall. You can see the continents and the lands flat with the ocean, and then there's the dome covering it. Why do they keep showing us our flat Earth model? It's like they want you to know, but they know you're not going to understand because they're the ones that duped you and turned your brains into mush. This is why they can show you this and do things like Artemis 2 returning to the moon, because no one is going to snap out of the spell. So do you not see how these are both flat Earth models? One in the film industry in Hollywood, music industry. Also, this was again taking place in LA. So I have been spoken about in national news. I'm a very familiar and known flat earther here in Canada. I've been on TV. I've been written about in national newspapers. They put things like Mr. Hines said in an interview with The Spectator online, he goes by the alias King Nico on social media, where he promotes the protest sells self-promoting swag, and pushes the baseless notion that the earth is flat and covered in a dome. You don't get to see that too often in your local newspaper, but that's how much work I've put into this that you will find me. I'm on Wikipedia now as a flat earther. I've been in the papers here in Canada. There is no one else in the country that has done as much as what I've done and got this far. So you got to watch all the latest interviews. Here's a new image I just made now. So I combined the Begonia movie with Emma Stone with the flat earth and the pig, and now I've just added Kanye West to it because that's exactly what he was dancing on. Is that not the same stage that Kanye West was dancing on in LA on April 1st? And now he'll be again doing it tonight on Good Friday. So quickly, I want to bring up something. I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm here. How do I get myself on the screen? So I'm here. Give me a sec. Let me just bring up yesterday's live with FTFE and PhD Tony. We're just going to quickly go over it. Actually, let me share this live to... No, forget it. I'm not going to share it. Let's just get to FTFE. Oh, he's live now too. So let's quickly go over yesterday's video. Stop that. Present. Share screen. There we go. So this guy comes on at 1:16. I didn't want to be on the show, so I tried to get off, but he held me on. So watch what happens and how that NASA can't give us any live feed from this mission, but you're sharing little white dots moving on a black sky, and woo, that's Artemis. I'm like, okay, that's what you want to believe. And
Salt Marsh says that all I do is insult. No, I point out stupid and that I can't do an integral. I give me a all right. I'll tell you what, me and you do an A-level maths test together and see who gets it right. I challenge you to that.
No calculator. Yeah, I would. So talking about maths, let's see. Yeah, so watch when this guy comes on. To tell you we're winning. And yeah, it's not looking good for this Artemis mission.
So wait, I've just sent the invite to a PhD. Are you going to run away before he gets here?
No one's running. I just said I gotta go. And
well, you don't have to go.
For the next debates we're gonna have, obviously, this is gonna be easy because all I have to do is
just hold on. The PhD wants to talk to you, so wait. I've just sent him the invite. Okay. Yeah, I do not give you permission to leave.
Okay, so stay on, but he has to answer my questions first, Mr. PhD Tony. What lodge are you a member of? What lodge is? What are your rank at this lodge? Clearly, well. So I already, before he even came on, I asked him these questions. What lodge are you a member of, and what is your rank? Because I already know PhD Tony, Mr. Science, who's friends with FTFE, who's a globe fighter or whatever. Just, it's ridiculous. I already knew what I was getting myself into. And as soon as he shows his face, there we go. There's the look of the Brotherhood. A Freemason. So where are you? What city? I guarantee you're within 1 to 2 kilometers of a Masonic lodge that you attend frequently. You're either a junior warden or one of the top dogs.
Tony, are you a Freemason?
No.
There we go. There's your answer.
I can see the Brotherhood rituals all over you. It's in the face, it's in the beard, it's in the demeanor. You have the Brotherhood look. When you do the rituals,
okay, so you're just being a bit of a dumbass right now. Shush.
So I call it as I see it, right? So what I'm doing here, because as you see, I wasn't planning to be on this live, right? So I come on for a bit to laugh at him and say, no one's falling for space anymore. No one's believing NASA and this Artemis mission. So after talking with him for a while, he's like, okay, let's bring on PhD Tony. And I'm PhD Tony. He's like, well, he has a PhD in science, so he has to be right. I'm like, okay, bring on your Freemason. Let me talk to him. Let's see where this is going to go. And in my mind, I'm like, I'll talk to him. And I already know he's going to be a big denier of God. He's going to be a hater of the Bible. And it didn't take long before I got it out of him. Now check this out. Remember, he has a PhD in science, right? He is one of the people that speak with the news and they give you all the science and say, yes, the launch was successful. The data shows everything is performing well according to our predictions. They say that everything is on time. So they reinforce the bullshit science that they made up, where there's no observation because all we observe is CGI cartoons or black screens because there's no signal, right, in space. So we don't get to see anything until it's done, and then they come back and they still give you a conclusion. They can't be trusted.
Tony, hello. Thank you for joining. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm very excited about taking my wife out on Saturday. I'm looking forward to a good night out for our anniversary. I can't wait for that. So thank you for coming on. I'm sorry that Nico's here, but you know that's how this is.
Yes, Dr. Savage. They try to use their PhD and their government credentials to appeal to an audience and claim authority. He tried to claim authority over me, and it did not go too well. I broke him. That whole demeanor and character of like, yes, I'm a scientist, I'm a PhD, I'm gonna hold this straight face, and bro, I broke him. I made him crack. Watch this. Don't be intimidated by these scientists. I'm the Freemason Slayer. You guys can't bullshit me.
I'd like Nico to explain what he means by the science isn't sciencing. What science doesn't science for you?
So NASA is telling us the route path, the flight
is
path.
NASA, sorry, science. So we're not talking about NASA, we're talking about science, right?
Okay, so
what science is not sciencing for you?
How can they plan a route for Artemis, the route that they've shown worldwide? How can they plan that considering the motion and the movement and the spinning that the Earth is going through space, and the moon is moving, chasing after the sun? How are they able to calculate a specific path for?
So by saying we stand for
.ca,
we're proudly Canadian, we won't.
So basically, I'm asking him now. I'm like, NASA's given us a whole bunch of data and cartoons of what Artemis is going to do. It's going to orbit Earth 2-3 times, and then it's going to slingshot over to the moon and orbit the moon and then slingshot back. Like, I'm like, how are they calculating that? How can they get accuracy of something that is obviously so big, the universe, where the speeds that we're traveling at, we don't have the tools to detect and be able to manage that kind of force and power in space of a whole Earth that carry, like, come on, guys. You got to drop this nonsense, this charade. If you're believing in this, that we have tiny little miniature humans that can get together in a little organization called NASA and jot down some numbers, and they can put a tiny little rocket into space and make and accurately calculate it, orbiting around an already spinning globe Earth that's traveling with the forces of gravity and speed, and there's things moving around it and space rock, and there's a giant fireball sun that it's chasing after, or the sun is pulling it. Like, come on. That's the science that is not sciencing. You cannot science with science and just keep sciencing, and people, like, that's BS. You got to say stop. The science stopped sciencing once that rocket went up and curved, right? That's when it stopped sciencing.
Said that you just said that you could do maths, right? You then went on to say that because the universe is finite, the sun must eventually hit the edge of it. No, that's not true. That betrays a fundamental misunderstanding of how circles work. If you walk in a circle in your living room, you can keep doing that forever. You're not going to reach the end of your street, let alone the end of the universe. So the fact that something is traveling for a long time doesn't mean that it is moving outside of a bounded area in space.
So the rocket formula And the
Hang
formula.
on, we were just talking about your fundamental misunderstanding about space, and you got corrected on two fundamental issues. Your job now is to acknowledge that you have been corrected and to show.
Okay, so he's spilled off a whole bunch of crap to me, some science crap and formulas on paper, right? And I'm supposed to understand that and see and be like, okay, yeah, this is it. That's how you're doing it. BS. So he's going off trying to enforce his bullshit, basically, right? He's trying to use his, like Dr. Savage said, he's trying to appeal with his PhD and credentials and his mannerisms and his Masonic everything about him, right? He's trying to use that to crush me and be like, oh, I have to know this. This is science. I'm like, bro, I stopped sciencing a long time ago. And my life has been great. You guys are still trying to push crap that keeps forever changing. Here we go. Watch.
So that you understand what was said to you. You don't get to jump around to another topic.
Okay, hold on. I'm understanding that you just told me that the universe isn't finite and that the sun...
No, I told you the exact opposite of that.
You said that it can have an end, and that now you're trying to tell me I've been corrected because you have science that says the sun is moving around something, not in a straight, direct path. So where's the science that says the sun is curving and going around something encased in a universe, not traveling through a universe?
Well, there are two issues. There are two issues that you fundamentally don't understand. The universe is expanding at the speed of light.
Okay, so this guy, like, this is how a PhD speaks. So first of all, he told me that the universe has an end, right? So that eventually, if the sun kept going straight, it would hit something, the end of the universe. I'm like, okay. So now you're telling me, then he says that the sun, he says I could be walking around my living room in a circle and I could do that forever and not reach the end or the end of the universe. So he's trying to tell me now that they have science that shows that the sun isn't moving in a straight line, but it's moving around something encased in a universe now, right? But then he goes on to say that the universe that encases our world is ever expanding. So it's growing at the same time. This is where I start getting angry, because I'm like, you're trying to force feed me this bullshit and dominate and act superior over me, like I'm inferior to you because you're talking about a squared plus b squared equals c squared and rocket formula this. I'm like, shut your mouth. Show me the observation that these calculations are saying can happen before you start giving me a conclusion and your snarky little attitude, right? So it's getting weird with the stuff they're saying.
The Earth is not moving at the speed of light. Even if it were, it could not catch up to the boundary of the universe. So that's the third limb on which your claim fails. But we can examine the motion of the Earth through the universe by looking at. But don't apologize. I'm just going to talk over you. We can examine Earth's proper motion through the universe, looking at the Doppler shift, the biased Doppler shift of various celestial objects, and the cosmic microwave background.
So you mentioned something to do with an ever-expanding universe. What does that entail entirely? From my understanding, that sounds like a universe that's growing or being added to. Like, what do you mean by
it's expanding?
Crema yogurt,
it's expanding. So he says the universe is expanding at the speed of light, but Earth does not travel at the speed of light, so it would never have the chance to catch up to the boundaries of the universe. Does that would mean
we know this by looking? We know this by looking at the. You asked a question. Do you want an answer to your question or not?
Let me just hold on. Let me finish, because that would mean we would have had reached the end of something to see it being expanded. So if we haven't reached the end of this universe, how do we know that it's expanding? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So your inability to understand science is very much a you problem, that you can't envision how we understand. So if I'm on if I measure a distance to a distant object, and then I come back later and the object is further away, but I know that both objects are stationary relative to, if I look at.
Oh, don't worry, Love Butterfly. I am going to squash him. And I want everyone to watch and learn how it's done and save your time. Right now, I'm taking the long, respectful path. I want to hear him out. I'm allowing him to talk down to me like he's above me with his PhD science, but I'm going to hit him back with the real shit, right? Get ready, because this is how you all have to do it. And what I'm going to do at the end is what you all should start with, and then that will basically tell you whether you should even waste your time and listen to this person or not, PhD science or not. You ask them one thing in the beginning, and once you get that answer, then you can go ahead. And I'll share what that question is shortly.
Look at two mountains, and I come back and measure the difference between them, and they're further away. That tells me that the surface, that there's some motion involved. We can use a similar principle by looking at the Doppler shift of distant objects Doppler shift of objects as a function of distance, that Doppler shift we notice increases. That objects further away are vastly more heavily Doppler shifted than objects that are nearby in the night sky, and this is well explained and entirely consistent with the universe expanding. You keep on asking, how do we know? And it is more accurate to ask, why do we think?
What? So now he's saying, because he's talking to me like they know, they have actual fact, and that I'm crazy for not even knowing that this. So I'm like, okay, so you have these bloody numbers. How do you know? You're telling me the Earth, the universe is expanding at the speed of light, but we're unable to even get the chance to see that happening. So how do you know? And then he says, I'm asking the wrong question. I shouldn't be asking, how do they know? Is why do you think? Huh? So you're talking like you know something, but in the end you tell me, oh, we don't know. We just think that this is happening. I'm like, so you want the whole world to go on just your thoughts and your opinions? This is not fact. This is not observational science, right? So there, he's talking down to me, and then at the end of it, he says, oh, but we don't know. It's just what we think is happening. Wow. We do not want to go by assumptions or what people are thinking or scientifically calculating the possibilities. No. We want actual video evidence of something happening, not what you think is happening, right? PhD in science. They don't know anything.
Because it is possible that there are other hypotheses that explain this, that explain this better. But at the moment, our best explanatory hypothesis is that the universe is expanding.
Interesting. Interesting.
I thought you knew this.
So I say interesting. Like, again, I'm being patient here before I tear his ass apart. So I say interesting. And then he jumps at me like, but you're supposed to know this. You know science. That's why you're a flat earther, because the science doesn't add up. I'm like, yeah, I knew the science of gravity and all the crap, the basic crap you tell us in school to make us believe that space is real. That is not even credible. So why would I take it even further and start looking at your damn rocket formulas, right? I just said interesting, right? I'm not ready yet. I want to hear more. And you know what I want to hear. I want to hear him blaspheme God, blaspheme the Holy Bible, and that's when it's over, right? Your PhD is done, right? And I call it. I tell him, I am about, just watch. It gets interesting.
How do you know? So you're claiming to have sufficient familiarity with science and sufficient familiarity with mathematics. You should know this, right?
Yeah, it's actually been proven. I do have an extensive familiarity and understanding of the science, especially in regards to the Earth and with space and with the sun and the moon and the day-night cycle, the year cycle, the seasons. I know the science. Trust me. That's why I'm in the position I'm in and known worldwide.
This is well attested. You could read any popular article in science and it will tell you all of this.
Yep, correct. I am very well versed with a lot of this science. But
well, demonstrably not, because you're having to have very simple terms explained to you in painstaking detail because you're clearly not familiar with them.
Because it's ever expanding, just like the ever expanding universe. Remember, I've been a flat earth for almost a decade now. So from the moment I realized that the science wasn't sciencing. Hold on. Oh, sorry.
But you've yet to demonstrate any way in which science isn't sciencing.
So in a decade now, the science for the space that I stopped believing in has ever expanded as with the universe. So,
but this was well known more than a fucking decade ago, mate. This was all out there. It's been out there for the better part of a century. This stuff. So so I don't understand how you can say, well, if it.
So now he's saying it's been out there for the better part of a century. This stuff, all the rocket formulas, and we should all just know it. Even though NASA was only founded in 1956 or 58, right? But the science has been there for over a century. These guys will pull any card to force feed this crap from their science. They'll bring up any book, any document, science document or journal from any university. That's all they have. It's like, oh, but this book, this other scientist with another PhD in astrophysics. Like, come on. They're going to keep throwing little bits of candy until you say, okay, you're right. No, don't give in. Watch me. I do not give in to a PhD scientist. It's not happening.
It wasn't there a decade ago. I don't know about it. This stuff is older than a decade. So if you claim that you are well versed in the science, and again, you've circular. Your reasoning is circular. You say that the science isn't sciencing. When asked to explain what isn't sciencing, you are completely unable to explain it. How do they do stuff? Well, here are the mathematical techniques that they use to solve these problems. It's a combination of calculus of variations, Lagrange multipliers, the rocket equation, and orbital mechanics. That's it. You just plug those elements together and you can get a course from the Earth to the moon, satisfying the constraints that we want them to satisfy. It's and we're greatly assisted in this by the existence of computers, right? That can use. We don't need analytical solutions. We can just do numerical integrations. So what's the problem?
So can these formulas now? Obviously, they've been there for a century. Can they be bettered with AI, modern tech? Can the math be bettered? Can the science be bettered to make more sense to people that obviously are not believing it?
But why do you not believe in it? So again,
so like he said, the science has been there for over a century. We have AI now. So he's telling me all you do is plug in the numbers, plug in the Lagranges and the rocket formula, and bada boom, bada bing, you can go to space, right? Okay, and those formulas and those numbers have been there for a century. We know that technology and whatever they were doing a century ago, things advance, we get more technology, more understanding. So it's very rational and valid for me to say, okay, so have you plugged these numbers into AI and maybe bettered your science, bettered the math, have a better understanding and a better way of seeing it to explain the science? But no, they just like, AI, it's a
This is circular. This is circular reasoning, sir. You're saying you don't believe in it because it doesn't make sense, and then you're saying, "Well, I don't understand it. How can it be better explained to me?" Well, it could be better explained for you if you hadn't just a decade ago decided to shut yourself down from learning any science. Maybe there are resources out there that will teach this shit to you in quite simple fashions. I've got a book on mechanics here that goes through the rocket equation in great detail. I've got another book right here. Here you go. This is a book that will go.
There's a book. See, just throw a book, go read a book. Oh, I shouldn't have stopped sciencing a decade ago. Just trust me, I know more about science. I learned from the Bible than any school or college or university or book, right? My science is sciencing and it adds up. And that's why you're all here watching, because you know it adds up and it does make sense. And what they're showing us is absolute BS.
Through Lagrangians, Hamiltonians, and the calculus of variations for you. There you go. Read up on it.
He could have.
And it'll help you. I've got another book over here explaining the details of gravitation for you. I can recommend that. There are resources out there that you can educate yourself with.
Yeah, and you're right about that. All that information is out there in book form. It's on the internet. You can get the PDFs. But like I said, the reading and getting through all these books one by one, the science sounds great. The formulas make sense on paper and the maths and adds up. But in the end, it all boils down to, I want to see it in action, right? Right now, we're seeing a blue screen from NASA. So I'm not.
Yes, but even if that were true, it would not make your case. Even saying,
wow. So look at him getting all excited now. So I told him, I'm still playing it calm, but in my head, I'm ready to strangle this guy, right? Listen, I told him, I understand. I know the formulas. I know you can plug it into a computer and it adds up and it makes sense on paper in the computer, right? But where is the actual observation of the experiment in action? I'm not seeing the numbers on paper or in the computer in action. I'm not observing the experiment. All I'm seeing is the before, the thesis, the what ifs, the numbers, and then I'm seeing a blue screen from NASA, and then I'm seeing the conclusion. So, wow, successful tour around the moon. We got to see this, we're back. I'm like, but we didn't see anything, right? We need to observe something for the science to fully science. With NASA, we don't observe the science. We observe cartoons and CGI and bullshit.
Look, I'm not convinced by the evidence that is being presented. That doesn't justify you in coming to the opposite conclusion. You can say,
that's the main
no, it doesn't.
Experiment.
No, it doesn't, sir. Because you haven't seen the experiment falsified.
How can you have a conclusion without seeing the experiment?
All you can say is, I've no observational evidence either way to come to a conclusion. If I reject that observational evidence over there, the buckets of it, the photographs of Earth from the moon, if I reject all of that, and I just say, okay, I'm just rejecting all of your evidence, all of your satellite data, all of your geodetic surveys, all of the earthquake data that emphatically demonstrates that the Earth is round.
But why would you accept
I'm rejecting. You might have an easier time learning stuff if you didn't try vainly to shut me up by talking over me. I am a professional scientist. You are some.
I am a professional scientist. That means absolute fuck all, right? Because I'm about to out-science this guy. Don't worry. Watch him. He thinks he's big and bad. And this guy's going to bring up the launch video showing the rocket going up and then curving into the ocean, right? Watch.
Goomba on the internet.
Okay, professional scientists, listen. To have the science and have a conclusion to match your formula, we need the observation of the experiment. We're not seeing any of it, but you're still coming up with a conclusion because the formulas add up. See that, right? Mr. Professional Scientist, Mr. PhD. He's trying to tell me that the data is all there. So we don't need to observe the experiment. The data is enough and should be believable. That proves the curvature of the Earth, how much of it it's no. Data doesn't mean crap. And if you guys go by data, then you deserve to be duped. 2 Thessalonians. God will send the great delusion because you want to believe the lie. And this is what is happening.
No, what you're doing is not science. You're saying, I don't believe these observations, which is fine. You know, we can't make this observational evidence persuasive for you. But you, in order to come to the opposite conclusion that all of this is...
So FTFE, he shares this video right now. Keep in mind, so this is their evidence. I'm telling them, I did not observe the experiment take place to validate the damn formulas, right? And there's definitely ain't going to be no conclusion if I didn't see it in action. So now he's showing this video. I was like, oh, this is evidence. There's the observation. I'm like, bro, this is not observation. We're still on Earth. All you're doing is looking at a rocket go up and curving into the ocean. I want to see it go from here into space and a live video feed.
False, you would need evidence supporting that conclusion. If you don't have evidence either way, the scientific conclusion to come to would be, I don't have a position. You know, is there a bread box between Earth and Mars?
Listen, Mr. PhD Tony, you cannot out-science God. He is my evidence. The Holy Bible has been here long. There it is. I'm getting angry now, right? So as you can hear, they're trying to like coax me into something like this is not evidence. This is not the experiment that the formulas that he's going on about is explaining. This is just the launch. The launch is not observation of the experiment, right? But this is all they have to show. And look at it. You can see it curving from that point. It barely gone up 100 meters. It's already curving into the ocean. And yeah, I'm getting angry. Hey, I'm going to wind it back as I'm about to blow up on this fool.
You know, is there a bread box between Earth and Mars?
Listen, Mr. PhD Tony, you cannot out-science God. He is my evidence. The Holy Bible has been here longer.
Where does God say that the Artemis mission was faked?
Again, you can see now the rocket Artemis is already on a downward. It's already curved. It's already going to be shooting downwards into the ocean, right? Into the Bermuda Triangle, wherever it's going. It's not going up through the firmament. It's already curving. And now I bring up God and the Holy Bible. I'm like, you cannot out-science God and the Holy Bible. And now it's like, well, where is your God and the Bible in regards to Artemis? I'm standing my ground, Love Butterfly. I see Sue is here. It's good to see everyone. I never went anywhere. I'm here. So it's good to see Sue, Love Butterfly, Dr. Savage, everyone. When he said on the first page of Genesis that he created the firmament to separate the waters from the waters above from the waters below.
To be clear, Nico, hold on. Nico, 1 second. Nico, hold on.
I rebuke you
Nico,
in the name of Jesus.
Nico,
you guys are all sodomites. You cannot out-science God.
Nico, you're muted right now. Shush. To be clear, God didn't write the Bible. People did. God didn't ever say anything.
Okay, so now it's going to get real. Now they're going to show their true colors. Because once I bring up God in the Bible, they just get irritated. Then now you're going to see Tony and Craig start blaspheming the holy word, start blaspheming God, the Bible, and everything to do with it. And look, and as they're doing that, Artemis is curving into the ocean and is not going into space.
In the Bible, not once.
And I will further make the point that the book of Genesis is demonstrably false. The age of the earth that it gives is demonstrably false. The claim of Noah's flood, demonstrably false. Trust me, my PhD is in the analysis of paleo sea level indicators.
Woo! Yeah. So you heard what he said about Genesis, about God, about the Great Flood, about his PhD, how he's an expert in that. We'll go back to what he said, but here we go. Watch. Listen, now you know 100% we're dealing with sodomites. We're dealing with a rebellion against God. These people are Hamites. the Canaanites. They are working with the synagogue of Satan, and they're in positions of high power, like positions of political power, scientific, educational power. This is all BS. It's all fake, and I'm going to crush it all.
There is absolutely zero evidence supporting the existence of Noah's flood, and there is abundant evidence contradicting it. There's also
Zero evidence in support of Noah's flood. Have you not seen the work I've done on Tartaria? Have you not seen the buildings worldwide, flooded buildings that were here before the flood, that I can prove that the fallen angels created them? This guy, watch, I'm going to break him. He's about, watch his face. He's been all serious and stern from the moment he got on. But once I blew up and I start smiling the way I'm smiling, and I give him the information that I have and tell him, you're a liar. I know you know the flood happened and I've already proved it. He starts smiling and laughing. Watch.
Abundant evidence contradicting the claimed age of the earth. You rely, for instance, on the minerals that go into your computer, the minerals that go into your car, the minerals that go into your clothing, even given that it's artificial fibers. We use geochronology to do mineral exploration, to tell us where to drill to find minerals. So your life, modern society, depends on mineral exploration, geochronology, which is proven robust and correct again and again and again.
Proven how? This guy already told us he doesn't see anything. He just punches numbers in on his paper or his computer, and if it works out on the computer, then that's good enough for him. He's never been to the ocean and drilled anything. They've only drilled 7 miles down into the ground. They've done nothing. This guy hasn't studied anything. There's nothing he's given us, and I'm going to break him.
The whimsical crispy coat is my business, and
Yeah, things got real heated once I bring up God in the Bible, and then that exposes who they really are. If he had turned and says, oh yeah, God, then it's a different story. But the fact that they're anti-God, that goes to show you who they serve.
I'm not sure if unmuting him is a wise idea, because I think he'll just yell at us again.
Well, he hasn't yet. I don't think he realizes he's unmuted because he's not that smart.
Well, he's muted again.
Oh, did I mute him again? Oh,
Unless he muted himself.
It's a
But
possibility.
Nico, you're looking really good. Let me tell you that you're looking really good in front of the audience.
I'm about to out-science a fucking PhD.
No, it's very hard to do when you're muted.
See? So he's telling me I'm not looking good, and I says I'm feeling awesome right now. I am about to out-fucking-science a PhD, right? So we'll rewind that back so you know I'm ready to tear him apart, right?
I'm not sure if unmuting him is a wise idea, because I think he'll just yell at us again.
Well, he hasn't yet. I don't think he realizes he's unmuted because he's not that smart.
Well, he's muted again.
Oh, did I mute him again? Oh,
Unless he muted himself.
It's a
But
possibility.
Nico, you're looking really good. Let me tell you that you're looking really good in front of the audience.
I'm about to out-science a fucking PhD.
No, it's very hard to do when you're muted, to be fair.
You don't talk against my God and tell me.
I'm not taught that. This is the thing. I'm not talking against your God.
I can
This
prove
is a consistent misunderstanding. I have no problem with Christianity. I have no problem with Christianity, and I'm not trying to talk you out of your Christianity. I don't have, I was a Christian myself for 35 years, and
I was a Christian myself for 35 years. Here's where it gets interesting. Now he's going to renounce Jesus and God and Christianity, all of that lied to me. You can see me smiling right there because I know I have him right where I want him. Watch and learn, and this is how it's done. Look at that smile. You see me? Does that look like someone that's upset or angry or bothered by these fools? That's me right there. Watch his face. It's about to change because he knows that he doesn't have me where he thinks he had me. right? Watch, I'm about to break him.
A quite diligent one. Actually, this time of the year, I'd have been serving in, I'd have done Holy Thursday yesterday. I'd be looking forward to Stations of the Cross coming up later today. I was an acolyte in my church. I have no issue with Christianity per se. It is biblical interpretation of the Bible that I have serious problems with, because the Bible clearly has inaccuracies in it. It has internal contradictions in it. It's not a the spiritual messages in it. Sure, take the spiritual messages in it, and I hope that they give you great comfort.
Disgusting. Yes, Sue. You hear what he says about the Bible? He says it's not legitimate, it's not authentic, it's got errors, it contradicts itself. I'm like, bro. So now he's saying, yeah, God, he hates the Bible, which is why he chooses to serve science. And who is the God of science? It is Satan. Stacy D, God bless you. Thank you. It's good to see a lot of people I haven't seen and heard from in a while. I've missed you all. Sue, Love Butterfly, and Miss Stacy D. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much.
And I hope that they, and I wish you good luck in your relationship with your God. But do not interpret the Bible as being a science textbook, because it demonstrably isn't.
My research alone has proved that the flood did happen. So obviously you haven't looked into the buildings and the structures that are worldwide from Tartaria. You can laugh because I know you went into the lodge. Look at him. He's laughing. See, I got him. Once I brought up Tartaria and the buildings, look at that face. He cannot hide it anymore. And you renounce Jesus. I know what you do. I know more about you than you know about yourself, right? Well, being a Christian for 30, you were never a Christian. See, I call him out on that. You were never a Christian. I tell him, I know you. I know more about you than you know about yourself. And he's sitting there laughing because he's like, freaking hell, I've given my all to this guy. That's all he has. He's like, oh, I'm a PhD and I have mathematical formulas and I have fancy big words, right? That's it. But what that doesn't work with me, and it should not work with any of you. And as you can see, I took his crap. I went along with his crap and his nonsense and his ever-expanding universe and his Laranges and his Doppel effect. I took it all in and I said, shut your mouth. It's my turn to speak. And when he heard what I had to say and that I dismissed everything he had, his best, because that was his best. That's all the best that they can bring is PhD science and a book. Here, read this book. Bruh. He's done. And now he broke character. He's sitting there laughing like, what do I have to do? I gave my best. This guy didn't fall for it. My research alone has proved that the flood did happen. So obviously you haven't looked into the buildings and the structures that are worldwide from Tartaria. You can laugh because I know you went into the lodge and you renounced Jesus. I know what you do. I know more about you than you know about yourself, right? Well, being a Christian for 30, you were never a Christian. You were a sodomite in the Masonic Lodge. You rose up through the ranks. You renounced Jesus. You served
He knows all this about you, Tony. You didn't even know it yourself. How do you feel?
Crema yogurt. So uniquely delicious. It's crema.
If I was telling lies, he wouldn't be smiling and laughing, right? That laugh it's like a duper's delight laugh. He's like, oh my God, he's onto me. I can't hide it. I'm just going to laugh, right? Look at him. He's like, he had such a big game and a stern demeanor. I broke right through that. I'm like, you can't out stern me and out dominate me. You can't dominate me with your PhD bullshit science. Get out of here. And I don't want any of you to ever fall for that. Don't ever get intimidated because they tell you, well, I'm a professor at Harvard and I work directly with NASA. We have formulas and math. Send them my way, right? Or learn how to do it and just ask them, are you sure you're not a Mason in the lodge that renounced Jesus, that you're a sodomite? Watch what he has to say. It's not over yet. Now that I broke him and he's laughing, he's going to give up and give in. Watch.
Those Masonic lodge, sure, take the spiritual messages in it, and I hope that they give you great comfort. And I hope that they and I wish you good luck in your relationship with your God. But do not interpret the Bible as being a science textbook, because it demonstrably isn't.
My research alone has proved that the flood did happen. So obviously you haven't looked into the buildings and the structures that are worldwide from Tartaria. You can laugh because I know you went into the lodge and you renounced Jesus. I know what you do. I know more about you than you know about yourself, right? Being a Christian for 30, you were never a Christian. You were a sodomite in the Masonic lodge. You rose up through the ranks. You renounced Jesus. You served
He knows all this
Lucifer.
about you,
Your
Tony.
job-
You didn't even know it yourself. How do you feel?
He's smiling. He
Well,
knows-
all I can
I
say is
prove-
those Masonic lodge meetings must be spectacularly unmemorable.
The Great Flood happened. Your science of space is absolute BS. There is no observational evidence to have a conclusion to fit the formula.
We don't need observations of space. We do not need observations of space to show that Earth is not flat.
I have observations of Earth to show that we're
Nico,
in a
I want to quickly read the
post-flooded
super
world,
chat
which
to you.
proves
Nico,
the Bible
Nico, I'm
is the
talking.
truth.
Nico, be quiet. Nico, super chat from Bill Tetley for $10 says, Nico, don't forget James 1:19-20. Know this, my beloved brothers. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. How do you feel about that?
Feel awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, but you just did against that. So why are you going against what your God says? I just broke him, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here.
And this is the other thing. This is the other problem with what you're doing, because you are discrediting your religion by cleaving to counterfactual claims and by asserting nonsense as though it's fact. You are making your religion less credible. You are undermining. So if Christianity, and I believe that there is spiritual value.
Okay, so first of all, everyone knows I'm not a religious person. I'm not involved in the church or Christianity. Whatever I'm doing, whether it's discrediting Christianity or not, that religion was built to be discredited. It was always built to fall, right? That's why we see news stories of pastors and children all the time. It was designed that way. So my teaching about flat earth has no effect on real Christianity, which is separate from the church. He is speaking of Christianity within the church, which doesn't apply to me.
Value in Christianity. I still believe that the parable of the Good Samaritan is, a fundamental teaching in human ethics, and profound in its implications. But you are undermining that. You get on here, you lodge baseless accusations of all sorts of stuff. Even if all of us here were sodomites, I reject the idea that sodomy is any sort of misdeed. As long as it's between consenting adults, I don't care who does what to whom.
Whoa! So you see my face, right? Do you hear what he just said? So now he was bothered by the whole Masonic Lodge and the sodomy comment. That was like 5 minutes ago. And now he just circles around and brings it back up about, if there were people doing sodomy in the lodge, then that I don't think that's a misdeed, which means he has no problem with that ritual stuff going on. Do I have to rewind? Let me rewind it back one more time. So you can hear him full out. You can see my reaction. I got him. I told you. I know what goes on in the Masonic lodges. I know who created the Masonic lodges. They are Canaanite. That is the bloodline of Cain, and they have been continued on with the Hamite bloodline after the flood. The Masonic lodges always, most usually, in fallen angel flooded buildings, right? They founded them after the flood, dug them out, cleaned them out, and repurposed them. He knows this. He goes to a lodge, whether he's in, he sounds like he's got an Aussie accent. So he's in Australia, New Zealand, Britain. He's within 1 kilometer, trust me, of a lodge that he goes to that is in one of these old ancient buildings. I know the rituals that go on because I know how society is run. I know you can look at my YouTube channel. I've been teaching about the Freemasons and exposing them. I stood outside of a lodge a couple of years ago in Hamilton and said, this is the birthplace of the LGBT, right? It comes from within the lodge, and the Masons push it out because they're the ones doing the ritual sodomy rituals inside of the lodge. And he's going to tell you right now, listen to what he says. I don't say it. He says it himself. Watch.
Were sodomites. I reject the idea that sodomy is any sort of misdeed. As long as it's between consenting adults, I don't care who does what to whom, right? But I don't. If fucking Masons want to if Masons wanted to get together and sodomize one another in the Great Hall.
Yes. See, what have I been telling you for years? The Masons get together away from their families, away from their wives, under oath, sworn to secrecy, and they sodomize each other in the Great Hall. You heard it from the Mason's mouth himself. I didn't have to do it. He said it himself. Listen again.
That's their business. It's not mine.
Yeah, but Nico, Max proved that you're a sodomite, so...
Tell them, Tony. No, let Tony speak. He's spitting truth right now. And I respect you for telling it how it is.
Well, he didn't say they do. He said if they want to. You may have missed that part because you've got the attention span of a goldfish.
I've been about this long before I knew who PhD Tony was. Obviously, he's been looking at my work and is confirming that the sodomy and the...
Right, Nico, I'm going to speak for Tony here. Nico, hold on. I'm going to speak for Tony here. Tony would rather cheese grate his nipples than waste his time looking at your work.
Connect to your accounts and make tax paperwork.
What do you think? PhD Tony is just another sodomite Mason, right? I can find you 100 pictures. Actually, I don't even have to do it. Just go online, type in Freemason, and the first 100 Freemasons that you see, wherever they are in the world, unless they're like of African American descent or Asian, if they are Caucasian men, they're going to look exactly like Tony here, right? Some with hair, without hair, but the beards will all be the same. You've got to learn to see the result of the ritual. When you do rituals in the lodge with brothers and under the brotherhood, that part of the ritual is that's why it's called a brotherhood. They become brothers, like brothers that look like each other and think like each other. It's a hive mind. It's a collective. That's what the Masons are. So whether look at him, he's doing the Masonic hand sign right there on the screen. Watch. You see him with his thumbs together as we're talking about masonry and stuff. These guys are all Masons connected, right? There's the hand sign there. He's spilling the beans, what goes on in the Great Hall amongst Masons, which I've already known and tried to share with you for years.
Absolutely. There is absolutely no flat earthers work that I will watch. I find it all a complete waste of time, and it's just frustrating to be presented with somebody's smug idiocy, knowing that it's utterly fallacious. I have not watched any of your content. No, I don't believe that Masons are sodomites. No, I don't believe that sodomy forms a part of Masonic rituals. But even if it did, even if that were true, I don't care. It does nothing. It does nothing for your claim, for your factual claims. It doesn't make the Bible true. It doesn't make Noah's flood true. It doesn't make Tartaria true. All you're doing is being a contrarian, and just rejecting evidence and saying, therefore, I come to the opposite conclusion. That's not science. That's not even logic. You don't even know how to properly construct a logical negative.
Science isn't logic. You cannot mix the two and say because it's science, it means logic.
I don't think Tony did. Tony didn't do that. Hey, the Mojack 199 says...
Oh, see, I got them with that one. See? Did you hear him? I caught him. He says, oh, science means logic. No, it doesn't. Science is experimental and it's theory. So he considers science as logic, right? So that kind of thinking means like, oh, because it's on paper and it adds up and equals science, it has to be logical, right? That's a disease. Science is not logical. Not all science adds up, especially the science they give us. It only adds up in their computers with their software. It doesn't add up in real life. So that it cannot be logical. So what they're doing is creating a fantasy world and making that become logic when it's not logic, but they have math to back up the fake. They have fake math that makes sense and adds up to equal something, right? But it's in regards to something that does not exist. So you cannot have logic over something that doesn't exist just because the math formula adds up and equals existence on the computer, but not in real life.
Are you winning or are you whining? He's definitely whining. The Dirt87 asks the question for $5 about to you, Nico. Could you define for us the difference between a scientific theory and a scientific law, please?
Okay, so from the Bible, what I consider actual
No.
science,
The Bible's nothing to do. This is a science question.
Oh, that's because you guys
Could
hate the
you tell
Bible,
us the
don't
difference in
worry, when
modern
I bring
scientific
it up,
language?
I need to bring it up.
Listen, in modern scientific language, could you explain to us the difference between a scientific theory and a scientific law, please?
Things, but we obviously serve two different gods.
Stoops is the only flat earther I'm allowing to be a moderator on my channel because some people listen. Thanks.
That's not science and Scientology aren't.
Lucifer and Satan, and if that's what you serve,
Last name MPEG. Stoops the cat, $5. What do you call a King Nico in a gay club bathroom? Busy, very busy. Oh, we're not going to do the gay stuff, but that is funny. It's a Rubik's for $2 says, watching from NASA break, love you cunt. That is actually a NASA person that works at NASA with that message. Thank you. Jess says, Tiger, $5. King Nico says, whiz bang boom, like it's the 60s Batman show. Big numbers are crazy.
yeah, sorry. Hey, Tony, so no offense, no hard feelings, but we obviously serve two different gods. It's clear who you serve, and it's obvious who I serve. That's it. Nothing personal. But I'm against the Masonic Lodge. I'm against Lucifer and Satan. And if that's what you serve, then we're going to obviously clash. So
God made
Hang
Satan.
hang on, but you just said it's obvious who I serve, and then you said if. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. I don't believe that Lucifer or Satan exist.
But Lucifer is the god of atheism.
No.
Atheism doesn't have any gods. That's what atheism means.
But they always tend to find science which falls and mixes on with Scientology.
That's not science and Scientology aren't connected any more than Scientology and Christian Science are connected, and they're not.
Hello, Christians. Hi, yeah, how you doing? What do you mean you don't want Nico? You want nothing to do with him, and this is all Christians. You had a meeting. Right, okay, I'll let them know. Thanks for calling. Yeah, Christians say you're not invited to be part of their club.
Yeah, because Christians don't believe BS formulas to make up crap to force a belief and disprove God. So it's clear and obvious why an atheist would be so into space and Artemis and...
No, I don't think you understand what happened. I just had a phone call from all of Christians and they said that you're not one of them.
But I want to touch on something. Do you think that God has been disproven?
You cannot disprove God, but science is made up and designed in a way to answer for God's miracles to label it something else. So just like a tree growing, which is God's miracle, they dissect it to a scientific point and be like, no, the seed, you plant it and then you water it and then it grows. So they try to take away God and put a scientific factor into creation, right?
But it doesn't matter what the mechanism is. That's
exactly what science is. So what I just explained there is that you cannot disprove God, but they create science and formulas to answer for God's miracles and to disprove God, right? Like going to space is disproving God. Instantly, it's the first page of the Bible. It just takes everything away. The firmament, the dome, the stars, immovable. That's what these NASA missions do. That's what their whole agenda is. So when he's talking about science and, oh, science has nothing to do with God. So yes, science, you don't even know. They created science to explain away God's miracles. So I say a tree growing, a whole forest of trees is God's miracle, right? Like, it's amazing. Something grows and you just see it spurt out and bloom. That's a miracle from God. But they take and add science to it. They dissect it. They find out the source, and they're like, well, if you take this seed and put it in this soil, and then you add some water, and then you monitor it and give it some light, it will grow. So they make it seem more like a scientific project where humans need to do it, right? Oh, you need to go and plant that seed and water it to take care of your tree. And then instantly that takes away God's miracle. Science isn't here for us. Science is to explain away magic, miracles, God's miracles.
You ever read Robinson Crusoe?
It sounds familiar. Long time.
Okay, Robinson Crusoe is a fictional story about a guy who gets shipwrecked, and he gets on an island, and sort of he gets all of the stuff, sorts it all out, and as he's setting up his stead, grain. I forget exactly what type of grain, but grain starts growing in the corner of his field, and he hadn't planted anything there. And he goes, "This is a miracle. This is an absolute miracle. God came down and he made the grain grow." And then as he's doing gardening later on, he works out that underneath the soil there are just grain sacks that he'd emptied out previously that he buried under the soil. And he goes, "Oh, it wasn't a miracle. It was just the grain sacks that made the grain grow." And then he gets really, really ill, and he goes,
"Imagine camping weekends."
Yeah, so I hope everyone's enjoyed a little bit of insight into some of the stuff I do. I'm like taking on full-on PhD scientist here, right? So I know a lot of people think flat Earth might be cool now and want to jump on board and post their little memes online
for saying that wasn't a miracle.
There's a lot more work to it than just posting a meme online or agreeing with someone, right? There's people out here in the community like myself that have been at it for a decade now that hasn't cared to be notarized or part of the big flat Earth club. I just do and share, and been rising by myself all alone. So I don't answer to anyone. I just led by the Holy Spirit.
Because it doesn't matter if there's an explanation. It doesn't matter that I know the mechanism. That doesn't make it any less miraculous. So just knowing what the mechanism is has no impact on whether or not God made it happen, or whether or not God is intervening. We just have a better understanding of how God is making stuff happen if we want to accept that God exists. So saying that science is antithetical to God is, I think, a misunderstanding. Science is not attempting to disprove God. It's not attempting to remove God. It's trying to explain the mechanisms by which, if you're a religious person, God carries out his miraculous interventions in the world.
There's no reason why God couldn't set of all the wonderful things we see in the universe in motion. If evolution is true, which obviously it is, there's no reason God couldn't have set that in motion. There's no reason why God couldn't be the reason that the universe is expanding. I don't believe in God, but I also have no way I could ever disprove that God is the reason the universe and the mechanisms in it exist. So, anyway, this is way off the topic of Artemis.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's this sodomite over here.
Don't use sodomite as though it's a bad word. Like he's just a liar.
Yeah, I know. I just like to throw it back at him because he likes to use it so often. Yet Max proved that he is in fact a sodomite.
But it's just the thing that strikes me is that this interaction has been so hateful, right?
Yeah.
And it is so founded on just blind hatred and anger and frustration. And, again, you're just discrediting your religion. But let's get back to the science, not sciencing. What science isn't sciencing?
Specifically around Artemis.
All of it after the 2 minutes after launch.
Right, be specific. Don't just
all
say all of it. Be very specific.
very specific.
Yeah.
So from the moment that the Artemis rocket is supposedly leaving Earth's atmosphere, that is the switcheroo. That's where the story gets a bit twisted up. That's where the science gets all kind of crazy. That's where these mathematical formulas come in.
Right, you're just saying things. Be specific. Give us one thing.
Specific.
No, you're not. You're just saying things.
Crap. I can make up mathematical formulas and science.
I don't think you could make up a
right?
mathematical formula if your life depended on it.
And just because I don't agree doesn't mean this whole thing's been hateful. I even apologized and said nothing personal. But yet you guys, just because I'm onto the crap you're trying to feed the masses, I'm hateful. I'm this person.
You were very
it's
hateful,
like,
Nico, and everyone saw you being extremely hateful. I had to mute you to stop it.
Yeah, it's the fact that you got red-faced, yelling at us, calling us all sodomites, calling me a devil worshipper.
That's what I do.
And you know, you can apologize for it. I don't accept your apology because your immediate justification, you immediately justified yourself. You're not expressing repent for what you did. You're just sorry that you humiliated yourself and your religion in public. And now you realize that some pro forma apology is necessary to redeem yourself in the eyes of onlookers. But then you said, I apologize, but you're a devil worshipper.
Well, yeah, I can't accept your science. I'm sorry for.
Why not?
Mainly because he doesn't understand it, I imagine.
That means your science that you believe is tainted by your agenda to keep your atheism religion.
Right. Nico, shut up. Nico,
have a religion, and again, for the majority of my career, I was a scientist. I was a Christian, and it had no impact. Professor Phil Bell wants to know what happened to the rocket after it went into the big black area, and what is the big black area?
Oh, I can hear the cogs whirring.
Yeah, the black area, but that we've seen all the live footage of, that's not space. That's not what I see up in the sky with all the. That's nothing. That's not credible. That's not an observation of anything. And I don't know.
But again, that saying what it's not doesn't tell me what it is. And saying that you don't believe that it's something, saying that you don't believe it's what people say it is not evidence that it is something other than what they say it is. What is your evidence? What is your evidence that it's that space is not what people say it is?
Savor the taste, texture, and feeling with President.
Yeah, space is 100% fake. Dirk knows it. Through the Hollywood ritualistic movies that they release in regards to space, we know how it.
How is that evidence related to space? Hollywood movies are fiction, right?
Right, but they put a lot of work into making it look real.
Yes, but they're fiction. They are fiction. They are works of fiction, and we are talking about scientific fact, right?
And the science is more fiction than the movie right now. That's what I'm getting at.
Bring up any evidence. So if you're going to discredit science, talk about the science. Don't talk about movies.
So in just under an hour's time, Artemis 2 will start its translunar injection burn, and that's going to be live streamed. What do you think about that, Nico?
I'm looking forward to the live stream of a plain, boring blue screen. We're not going to see anything. There's going to be no injecting, no fuel burning. We're not going to see nothing. Like
if you're wrong, will you give me $10,000?
No, I'll give you $10 maybe, but not 10,000.
Why not? Read that one.
Okay, yeah, that was it. I'm off. This live just went on. They asked stupid questions. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed at least some part of that, especially in regards to the PhD of science and me stripping him down to just being a sodomite, anti-God, anti-Bible, Freemason that gets sodomized in the Great Hall. That's all he is. So how do we take him from this superior, educated, all-knowing PhD of science to just a sodomite scumbag, right? That's what I do. So thank you everyone for being here and watching it and taking the time and commenting. I got a lot going on. Let me take this off. If we go back to the Facebook, I released a crazy interview just last night. So I really hope you guys can get on the channels and help me share some things out we've got posted. I'll show you this this post here is getting thousands of views. I think it went viral, so I'm just going to quickly show you it right now. What are you doing? So I'm going to show you just this, how many insights we got. So we're at 30,000 views right now for this Kanye West dancing or performing on top of a flat earth model. So yeah, we're getting views back again on the channel. I don't know how people still are not sharing or engaging in the post, but one way or another, if God wants it to be, it will be. So we're gonna keep at it, sharing out as much as we can. 30,000 views is crazy amount for that. I just wish it went towards my interview maybe, which is also posted here. There's lots to check out, newspaper articles, images of the flat earth model going back, and yeah, it keeps being seen. They keep showing it to our face.
Hello, my name is Angela.
There's the interview, King Nico exposed. Freedom movement, arrests, faith, and the truth they tried to silence. So King Nico, founder and CEO of Crusaders of the Resistance and a founder of the 2020 Freedom Movement here in Canada, Toronto mainly, sits down for a powerful and unfiltered interview. So from launching the 2020 Freedom Movement to building Crusaders of the Resistance, King Nico shares the story behind the mission, the message, and the movement that has reached thousands worldwide. We also explore his latest musical project, Isla de los Cruzados, an album that represents the sound of the resistance, blending culture, truth, and energy into a global movement or worldwide movement. See, look at how does that word get snuck in there? So it's now streaming on all platforms. In this interview, we dive into the founding of the 2020 Freedom Movement, standing against government mandates, creating Crusaders of the Resistance, the brand and the ministry, my biblical beliefs and public declaration that Jesus Christ is King, being one of the most recognized flat earth voices in the world. Key moments such as Adamson Barbecue, Huff Jim, the Ottawa protests, Save the Children movement, and the drag queens, the Soji. We were the first to take a stand against that. My flash dance demonstrations, multi-talented singer, dancer, performer, speaker, speaking in front of crowds of over 10,000 people, thousands online, arrested for standing up for children and personal freedoms. This is more than an interview. It is a story of conviction, leadership, and standing firm when it matters most. Truth, faith, resistance. The movement continues. I have noticed around me in communist Canada, people are all acting like NPCs, soulless people. So it seems, yeah, I made a video about that a couple years ago in Toronto, biggest NPC population in the world. Yeah, you guys are great. So please, if you can, I really would like you guys to check out this week's postings. It's on YouTube. You can see this interview. It's on my Facebook channel. You can see this interview. I think it posted on one of my Instagram pages, this interview, but yeah, please take a look. It does contain a lot about me that a lot of people have been trying to hide the past few years. So hopefully I was able to gather a lot of the video footage, thankfully, that I took myself. Otherwise, everything I did would have just been in vain. No one ever would have known about me or the things I've done. So thank God I was able to accumulate and save on hard drive, and now I'm able to compile a lot of it. There's still so much. I just realized after making this video that I'm going to have to make another one, a part 2, possibly a part 3, because since 2020 and it's now 2026, I've done so much, from being online to being through the going through the pandemic. It's just been, and so this video is going to show you a lot, and it's pretty impressive to see. I still can't believe I lived this life and went through it. It's far from over. This was just the beginning. This is honestly nothing. Like, the real test is still yet to come, and I'm very happy with how I conducted myself through those times and what I was able to achieve and spread the word. So yeah, again, I'd really appreciate if you could all go check out the interview. It contains a lot about me and a lot of the work that I've done, video footage, a lot. So news articles, we've been on the news. I couldn't believe how many times. I couldn't even put them all on here. I've been on national news, like I'm in double digits, over 10 to 15 times. I was able to get like 3, 4, 5, 6 video clips, but there's a lot of it. So I will continue to work on bringing and compiling everything the resistance has been involved in, everything we've shared and taught people. Also share the people that we've taught that have also risen up because of us, people that have tried to copy us, become me in particular. So yeah, being a part of this and starting this, it had lots of positives, but definitely a lot of negatives. It created a lot of wannabes. After seeing this video, you're going to be like, holy cow, this guy is amazing. Like, if I was watching this and I never knew who I was, I would want to be me too. So there's a lot of things I do. I'm an expert fighter, which is why no one has stepped to me yet, because they don't want to get embarrassed. They know I am a skillful fighter. So yeah, I've invited many people. No one will stand and test me. They can go online and talk crap and stalk me and stalk my friends and stalk my ex-partners and girlfriends, but there's a lot of snakes around. So again, I'm gonna need all you guys' help to help spread this. I'm doing big things. I work alone a lot of the time, so yeah, I don't really see much what's going on. So right now I'm here and just hanging on to the live for a sec to see who's gonna comment, see if anyone's got any questions to ask before I sign off. And I don't really plan to come on again for a while. So yeah, this is it for now, unless something else crazy happens in regards to NASA sending crap to space or sending your imagination, because nothing is going anywhere. It's just going into the ocean, being flushed into the toilet, basically. That's where that rocket went. Love Butterfly says, see Dirk's comment above. I did. I think I read it out. Dirk says, I used to play guitar with Iron Butterfly. Saw that video, loved it. Nico will check out your old podcasts. Like you, I am long-term professional fighter. God gives us great gifts. I am grateful. Yeah, very skilled. I practiced last night and it's just amazing. It just comes naturally to me. It's like you don't forget how to ride a bicycle. You could just jump back on and pick it up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next phase of this fight against the New World Order, against the beast system. So that's about it. I'm just trying to remember anything quickly before I sign off. It's, what is it, Friday? Easter. I don't follow that stuff. Right now, I'm just trying to compile the week's rituals. So April 1st was definitely the biggest one with the Kanye West concert and the Artemis launch, and them calling it April Fool's Day when it's really New Year's Day. So yeah, there'll be more. I'm ready to take on anyone. You guys know me by now. I've taken on the whole flat earth community, all the shills, the whole freedom movement community. Yeah, musician also. Got my album out. That's what I wanted to bring up. Thank you, Doug. My music album. So I'm on Spotify. I'm everywhere. Quickly check this out. So stop that. Present. Share screen. Let's go here. Da-da-da. So yeah, there's my Spotify artist page. Find me, King Nico. Wow. So I've got 7 monthly listeners on Spotify. That's not a huge big deal, but we can get those numbers up if you guys want to listen. If you have a free Spotify, we've got Apple Music. I got a artist page on here too. All my music and singles are on here, from No More War, Coconut, Daddy's Gonna Give You a Beating, Ye Shall Not Surely Die, The World's Greatest Slide, No Woman, No Cry, Children of Revelation. So all the 2026 releases, all the singles there for the part 2 of the album. The first part of the album was released July 13th, 2025, the same day that Justin Bieber released his AI album titled Swag. I'm on Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube. Get on there. YouTube, Spotify. Let's put a song on. I like No More War. No way. Okay, give me a sec. Sorry, I messed that up. Thanks for being quick with that. Let me put on the song. Let me know what you all think of it. The music put a lot of work and effort into it. So let me start that one back. Actually, let's put on Coconut. Can you hear it?
She walk up with that sway like fuego in the breeze, dripping in that sun. She got honey on her knees. Told me, baby, ven pa' acá with that island tease. Next thing I know, I'm lost in the coconut trees. Hips like waves, they crash slow. I say yes, but move like no. That little laugh, it's a trap, bro. She crack you open nice and low. Oh my God, she's trouble. Tastes like sugar double. One sip, I'm in a bubble. Now I'm hooked, I can't escape. She got that coconut, shaking like she know what's up. Sipping on her love, I can't get enough. Sweet with a twist, yeah, she drive me nuts. She crack me open, I'm falling in love. Coconut, she bad as what? She don't even dance, she erupts. One more taste, I lose control. She got that coconut, take my soul. She ride the beat like waves at high tide. Whispers poppy with that slow wine. I say bite, lips say mine. Now we dancing like we lost time. She said don't fall if you can't swim deep, but I dove in hard at her feet. Now I'm floating in her heat. Mojito breath and cheeks so sweet. Oh my God, she's trouble. Tastes like sugar double. One sip, I'm in a bubble. Now I'm hooked, I can't escape. She got that coconut, shaking like she know what's up. Sipping on her love, I can't get enough. Sweet with a twist, yeah, she drive me nuts. She crack me open, I'm falling in love. Coconut, she bad as what? She don't even dance, she erupts. One more taste, I lose control. She got that coconut, take my soul.
Coconut.
Hey mami, tú me matas. Ven aquí, no digas nada. Crack me open, break the silence. You and me, island science. She got that coconut, shake it like she know what's up. Body like a beat, yeah, she mix it up. Sweeter than sin with a tropic touch. She got that coconut too much.
This one's Ye Shall Not Surely Die.
Yeah. King Nico. Morning resting on the leaves, breath of God and everything. Hands unscarred and hearts at ease. Innocence without a scene, no shadow cast upon the ground, no hunger for what wasn't found, only light in open sky before the whisper slipped inside. It didn't roar, it didn't cry, it moved like silk across the mind, a gentle bend to what was true, a sweeter shade of something new. It shall not surely die, the world's greatest lie, soft upon the vine like summer wine. Ye shall not surely die, drifting through the mind, turning wrong to right in borrowed light. No blade was drawn, no war declared, just longing no one knew was there, a single step beyond.
No more war.
King Nico. From Isla de los Cruzados.
Tonight we move together.
No more war. Lights and keys shine through broken streets. Children hide where the night repeats. Smoke drifts high over Gaza City sands. Every heartbeat fills the world in our hands. From Moscow towers to Jerusalem stones. People searching for the light they've known. Empires rise, borders divide, but hope and rhythm stay alive inside. Different lands, same pain we feel. Same sun above, same dream to heal. Hands together, hear the call. Love can rise and conquer all. No more war, no more war, unless it's the final one to end them all. From the islands to every shore, we move in peace forevermore. No more war, no more fight, let the rhythm be our guiding light. Every heart and every sway, love is the only way today. Deserts whisper, oceans.
Okay, you guys are gonna go listen to it. Like I said, I wrote all the lyrics. These, you can tell it's my songs. You know, look at some of the catchiest phrases. Ye shall not surely die, the world's greatest lie. That was from Genesis with Satan seducing Eve. Ye shall not surely die was the world's greatest lie. We have no more war unless it's the one to end them all. So we want the final war, not these in-between government satanic wars. Children of Revelation. Let's see what that sounds like. I did the beat, production, vocals, lyrics, did it all.
The rivers are crying, the oceans run dry.
We are the children
Voices
of
are
Revelation.
fading, love's growing cold. The truth they once whispered is now being sold. They're building a tower of numbers and code. digital items on a silicon throne. But deep in the silence, the trumpet will sound, and hearts that remember will stand their ground. We are the children of revelation, crying for peace in the world gone blind, holding the light of a lost creation, trying to heal what's been left behind. Open your eyes, don't fear salvation. Love is the sign, not the mark of the beast. We are the children, the new foundation, rising in truth till the chains are released. A kingdom divided, a shadow deceived, selling redemption with lies on repeat. The prophets are calling, return to the one, before the eclipse hides the light of the sun. They say progress, but they mean control. A digital soul for a human soul. But faith is the armor and love is the key, and mercy is the weapon that sets us free. Yeah. We are the children of revelation, crying for peace in the world gone blind, holding the light of a lost creation, trying to heal what's been left behind. Open your eyes, don't fear salvation. Love is the sign, not the mark of the beast. We are the children, the new foundation, rising in truth till the chains are released. They said they built heaven with wires and screens, but they forgot the soul in between.
Can't you see this isn't the
Madison.
end, it's the awakening. Stand together, hearts unbroken, the word was spoken. Love
Covered in hair
will
now.
reign again.
We are the children of revelation, voices of hope in the final days, lifting the world to restoration, turning the darkness into praise. Oh, open your heart, it's transformation, light of the lamp, forever increase. We are the children, the generation, breaking the code of the digital beast. No more wars, no more fear. The truth was here all along. We'll heal this world together, 'cause love is stronger than Babylon. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. King Nico. Nay. Sun is out and the vibe is right. Got my shades on, dancing through the night. Una vida loca, we don't stop. Move your body, let it drop. Baby, no stress, we just vibe. Feel the rhythm, come alive. Tú y yo, this moment's gold. Summer heat, never getting old. Sol y ritmo, fuego en el aire. Dance with me, no hay nadie like you. Girl, you light my soul. Move that body, lose control. All night we play, no te vayas, quédate. Y Nico vibing in the zone. You and me, we in our home. Tropical breeze in your hair, flirts in the beat like the islands there. Timberland bass, it hits so deep. Tonight's a wave we're gonna keep. Baby, no stress, we just vibe. Feel the rhythm, come alive. Tú y yo, this moment's gold. Summer heat, never getting old. Sol y ritmo, fuego en el aire. Dance with me, no hay nadie like you. Girl, you light my soul. Move that body, lose control. All night we play, no te vayas, quédate. King Nico vibing in the zone. You and me, we in our home.
La noche es para ti, King Nico on the beat, let it breathe, just feel the heat.
Dale, mueve así, la noche es para ti. King Nico on the beat, let it breathe, just feel the heat. Sol y ritmo, fuego
That's it. I'm hot. I'm covered in fur now. Everyone, you're free to go. We've done a good hour, 45 minutes. God bless you, everyone. Thank you for listening to the music, listening to me, listening to my debate with a PhD. Doing so much. So I'm going to take a break now, maybe play some video games, eat some food, get a cold drink, make some more music. You know, we got the whole weekend here ahead of us. How's everyone's weekend going to be or go? Hope everyone's got a lot of time to enjoy and spend with loved ones and animals, family. Well, I'll come back soon, but you know, YouTube's not really friendly with me. So me being on here, I just feel like a fool because YouTube obviously doesn't respect me. So me continuously coming on here, I just do it for you guys. I'm not doing it for YouTube. I don't care about their policies or their anything anymore. Whatever, it's nonsense. I've tried to comply for years and it's got me nowhere. So forget YouTube. I can't stand it. But I'll be back whenever's clever. If you guys do something special or if something can happen with the channel that for some reason I just get a whole new influx of subscribers or comments or big views on one of my videos, then yeah, I'll come back. But I'm not really desperately on here trying to reach and pull stuff out of a hat just to be on here. Trust me, I got better things to do. But I always do enjoy being on here. It's a shame it can't be a regular thing. I hope you can all understand that. Yeah, my babies are beautiful. I love my dogs. Yeah, today we covered the debate I had with a PhD scientist in regards to space and Artemis, and it ended up me stripping him of his PhD and leaving him there with just the label of an atheist, anti-God, anti-Bible, sodomite, Freemason. That's all he is. Anyway, I'm going to keep rambling on. Please check out my music. Let's get my monthly listeners on what's it called? Spotify up from 7. Let's get at least 10 or 20. Come on, guys. Thank you, Sue. Sue, I believe will share it out. Thank you so much. Yeah, so everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening. It's 8 p.m. here on the Eastern Coast. I'll be online. Get on my Facebook. I'm going to be sharing out some of my things, making new posters for my music, for my interview, for all the work I've done the past 10 years. All my latest PhD. I got to clip that out. And if you guys want to help and give suggestions in the comment after the video's done of which part of the debate I should clip, I definitely know I want to clip him admitting to Masons sodomizing in the Great Hall in the Masonic Lodge, and him saying this, he sees no wrong in that. There was a bunch of things. So yeah, please hit me up in the comments. I'm signing off now. If you've been watching this, you already know you are the resistance.